that takes care of that. He won, so the new purchasers of the building there, they had closed without us in the closing, so now that there was, the idea was to have us involved. But there was like 2.5 years left, 2027, yeah. So school tax in 2 years of full tax. They went and closed without us, so now it's gonna come off pilot. So, we'll reconvey that. I mean, that's been on pilot. But, you know,
What was the percentage on that, you remember?
it was lower. It was like a savings of, we did the savings. I recall that it was like 94,000 at current taxes. But it was just weird because they were here, we had everything ready to go, and they did not let E1 know. And so this guy's gotta learn, like, you know, I don't know, out of Canada, you know, he needs to take care of this tenant. Because not for nothing, that building's kind of like chopped up, you know, they built it, I mean, he kind of built it as E1 was growing, so it suits them probably to a T. But it's kind of disjointed if someone else would go in there, so it's like, yeah, please take care of this friggin',
I wonder.
you know, company that employs 90 jobs. I would think it'd be right in line, oh no, they just did remember they did the sales tax only project?
Right.
So that, we probably look to that and look to the lease, so they probably still have like 5+ years. Cause they
Once it's on its way,
So-
there's another.
But I get concerned because, you know, their headquarters is in Ocala. And other than having like all this good labor here that, you know, these people know what they're, you know, so you can't just, I think their production is not low. You know, so I think they need this plant in operation, at least now.
Wasn't this the only point that did stainless steel?
Yeah, originally, yes, but not anymore, because, you know, once they bought
Once it's,
Steve out, or built Savage,
Right.
they took that process, you know, then they owned that. They can, so they have the ability to do it in those areas.
once it's on its way,
Okay,
you got stopped by the train.
Boy.
Yeah, you can see me, he has to come across the tracks. There's a big train. Well, the trains are getting bigger.
Oh, yeah.
They put 2 locomotives on, one in the front, one in the middle now. They must pull about 160 cars sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Well, it's probably cheaper. You know, you're only.
oh, sure, yeah, the more you can get, right?
Yeah, man, it's massive.
Yeah, I don't know if my camera's dead or what.
Oh, that's good.
We're okay. So it'll be off camera. It'll show, I can put it myself on there. Or anybody that uses it. We will have audio. So watch what.
I think Cam's coming in.
So they closed after, you know,
Right.
which is good and bad. And then Serve Pro will be closing after the meeting, the lawyers come out. So we'll be all caught up.
I heard, I said, no, can you buy the West End?
Yeah, that's what I
But they're
heard.
not running the restaurant, somebody else,
That's what I heard.
an Italian restaurant.
That's what I heard. But who knows? Until they're ready to go. Look, those two
The
move
West
and
End
shake.
was open the other day too, I mean, they had that sign out for the live music.
Yeah.
Open this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was
I saw it
awesome.
on,
You're not like.
That music fest.
I saw it on the music fest.
Supposed to be-
Was that what it's called?
The building was sold and an Italian restaurant was taken over.
Yeah,
And it was in there.
I think it'll be, it's the best I know, it's like that, Nick Patillo who owns the Osteria.
Is
And,
right,
Andy's next.
got the one down at Elegant.
Yeah, the one now, Bellagio.
Andy Powell.
He's a good
Oh,
restaurant
oh,
too.
that's actually a good one.
Yeah, he's good quality food.
We didn't really want.
He's been looking to get into the village, but initially, I don't know if this changed, but he wanted more like grab and go type stuff. Like the chef started something like Chefs on the Run. I don't know if.
Oh, yeah, we got that.
It kind of died.
I thought they closed the drive-through.
Chefs on the Go or something. Yeah, that was kind of a bust. Microphone.
So Mary Ann said she's out. Got that.
Oh, no, I was
Just
just
the-
1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more.
Once it's done, it's.
Okay, as soon as
Okay.
once
There, I
gets to.
see, but, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mike, there was a bus stopped. To let a wheelchair on, and it was like. Stopped right in front of the wedding, on the blanking on the name of the wedding venue there.
Ilios?
No, no.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one with the fireworks on it.
Oh,
We used to call it the Sugar Factory.
Avanti,
Avanti.
I mean, it was
Sugar
backed up,
Factory.
it was backed up all the way to like. Hilbert. It was a mile. Cause it must have stopped for 15 minutes, so it had to put down its thing, and then they were
Right.
chit chatting, and I'm like.
Seriously? Seriously?
Once it's here, we're official.
Can't they pull up to the side? of the road?
Got
Oh, that's what I thought, turn off the lights, pull over.
Yeah, especially if you got a quick.
Hey, you're on the school board. The election's coming up.
It was a Frontier bus.
Go Falcons.
Good morning, everyone.
Right.
Morning, Wentz. How are you?
Good, 2 trains today.
Oh, yeah, I saw the train coming that way.
One was on Rogers, one was going one way and then I was like, oh, and then one went the other way. But you get for running right on time.
Yeah, right. All right, so Mary Ann is absent.
Is the lady that sits here gonna show up?
I,
Yeah.
I don't, she will sometimes come late. I don't know. I haven't, she didn't respond either way.
You're good, Wentz.
She won't care.
There's no assigned
she'll
seating. You can
share
sit right
with
next
you.
to me if you want, buddy.
I just don't want her to get mad at me.
She's not. She's counting the days right now. That's all she's saying. So we got Cam, Bob Hutchison,
I thought I heard some stories.
Janet is absent, Tom Moses, Janet is here. We just missed you. And Jamal is absent.
Here,
Bob
buddy.
Reynolds is here and Wes Valentin is here.
Get up here.
I don't think Janet bites, you know?
I don't, not hard.
It's her house.
It's her house.
I'm reason. Okay. Next we'll have our pledge of allegiance, please. Sorry, Lynn, you said it to me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to open the May 14th, 2025 Hamburg, New York IDA Board of Directors meeting at 7:37 a.m.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All right, the first item on the agenda are the meeting minutes from April 9th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Thanks, Bob.
Second.
Thanks, Bob H. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Next item is the financial report from April 30th. Let's go run.
Yes, yes. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so we had a total income of $2,788.97. Our payroll expenses were $13,246 $19. We had some incidental charges, including rent, which we are paying $400 a month on. That's $400 a month, right, Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so our total expenses ended up to be $14,093.52 for the month of April. So we had excess expenses over income of $11,304.55. On the second page, if you want to look it all over, but I'm not going to go down it anymore, but there's the balances for our checking account, our cash savings, and our demand accounts. So we ended up with a total liability for this organization of $886,938.45.
Motion to accept that. Thanks, Ken. Second. Thanks, Wentz. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Okay, next is my report. We do have two closings. We should be complete today. We have the closings for TNL Beachfront after this meeting. We talked to 4760 Camp Road. They went and closed without the IDA. So that project that had 2 years remaining in the project, it will be just, what do we say, early termination? Early termination, so there'll be no action from the board. The board approved extending the pilot, but they chose to close without the IDA. So it'll be an early termination on that. So that will be coming off the rolls.
Do they know that?
They know that. We had a
Okay.
conversation with the
Okay, as long as
tenant.
they know that they're gonna start paying full.
We're kind of unsure as to why. Like, I think it was, I don't know if it was just frustration, because there are 3 parties involved, more paperwork. But we were ready to go, and they went silent, and then we looked up in the county records. And then we learned that it was closed, that the deed was recorded. So we've been in communication with E1. They're gonna follow up with the landlord, but at this point, there's nothing we could do unless they would really start a full new application, so it's 2 years remaining in the.
So is there a job, everything that we set up that they had to do to get the IDA, job ratings and stuff like that, so that all goes away for them? So the reports-
Any requirements that they would have be
Okay.
with the.
For our last requirements, they were up to standards pretty much?
Yeah, in
Okay.
March reporting, they were up to standards, but
Okay.
once that is reconveyed. Any, you'd be free and clear. In
Okay.
terms of that, I don't foresee.
I just wanted to say
anything.
they're doing it because they didn't have a job sold or something, like that, but they're all to standards, so.
Yeah, no, I talked to
They-
the Rev group. and,
They
you know,
also closed without the mortgage. They had been working with Evans Bank on a mortgage, but of course Evans Bank is
No longer there.
no longer there. So, and they still, even though they didn't close with the IDAs, under the inducement resolution in your fee schedule, they still owe the agency fee and my legal fees.
Done with the bill.
Yeah,
Their attorney
Yeah.
this all happened yesterday, so I
Wow.
will work on that this week, the early termination and then payment of fees.
Well, they'll probably still get that on their tax bill this year. 'Cause it's past May
No.
1.
well, so what happens is when a project is reconveyed after tax status date, like we bill.
They get,
So-
right, and then they'll get charged up the extra charge on a tax bill in the future. The
Yes,
difference,
Right.
yeah, until the
Well,
assessor
we'll-
removes the abatement.
Which is gonna be.
We
next
bill.
year.
Yeah,
We'll continue, right, we'll bill it and then they'll get a 520 exemption removal on a county bill probably like in 2027.
I'm
think it
hoping that
takes-
the school taxes, which come out in the fall, will be at the full rate. And I'm hoping.
Billed through the
because their pilot
IDA.
bill, they'll be billed at 100% for the 26 county.
Cause their
Could go
assessment
there.
roll doesn't come out until August.
Yeah, but the final, but the. But the roll date, the tentative roll date was May 1, so the assessor can't change yet. But you could bill it 100%, and then we'll have to do a 520.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we send Frontier any pilot project that
Bill it
is
at
not
100%,
off
that's
roll
all.
by the tax status date, we send that data to Frontier.
Yeah.
So if things would happen,
That
K-TAP,
makes sense.
similar situation. So we bill that, assuming, Frontier is accurate with the billing.
Well,
you know,
it's
that-
better, it's better that way, because otherwise you get this big charge on one bill in the future. So if you bill it 100%, just let the town know and it'll work out perfect.
I'm working on that right away.
Okay, so, and then we do have some progress on the 10-acre industrial site on Jeffrey Boulevard. They should be up for site plan approval this Wednesday or next Wednesday, I'm sorry. Fingers crossed as to like if that goes through or not. There's been a lot of work between them and the town and some of the neighboring sites. So, but that is finally moving forward. The other industrial that's under site plan review, that was the auto zone. So, last week, they got the approval to do the subdivision.
Good.
So that Advance Auto Parts and then the land next to it, Janet, is two separate parcels now. So in that, they had a purchaser for the building, they had a purchaser for the land site. So now that this is approved, that building can become reactivated right now. I still don't know who the purchaser is.
Remember the old paint manufacturer that never went in?
Oh, yeah, that was a big project going in there.
Huge.
Never went in though.
Never went in.
Oh.
Mixed use Southwestern at Rogers Road. That's the mixed use project. That project is on hold. Riley Boulevard. That one is up for, that's a mixed use project as well. 12,000 square foot. That one, actually, we have a draft application to the IDA. I'm working through it with Jennifer. We'll likely see, assuming everything is okay with the financials on the construction side, so we can verify the retail. We will have a public hearing notice going out probably by the end of this week for June 4th, which would be the week before our IDA meeting, and then the next IDA meeting on June 11th. We would, review that project. Again, we need site plan review and we need to verify the retail. So a couple steps where it could be go or no go, but it's nice to see these kind of moving through the process. Finally, they've been languishing a bit. In addition, I will be meeting with Sinatra. I was supposed to meet with them last Friday on the convent site, so they're trying to kind of reinvigorate the development over there. They've had some requirements for the Historical Society where they've salvaged some of the stained glass. I think they had some code issues, so they were in the court with some building code violations over there at the site. So they've been working to kind of get that up to speed and then hopefully move forward with some type of development over there. We had kind of our regular community engagement. One thing that was nice on the community engagement side was we sent out the link for the WIVB. It was like a news vignette on Channel 4 for Upstate Steel, because some of the Upstate Steel projects or some of the Upstate Steel products are getting fabricated in Blaisdell and then installed at the stadium. And if you recall, like we had a bit of, we certainly, you as a board induced that project, number one, and then we were continuing to work with them. They had some WMBE certification issues, if you remember. So, we were advocating with some of the state legislature reps to, try to get this through the process so they would have a seat at the table for the stadium construction. And that was just a nice article to see the company thriving and operating and kind of producing, having a signature project that they're involved with. So that was neat. We did have a meeting with the town, Bob Hutchison and I. So thanks, Bob, for attending that. We met with the supervisor and one of the town board members just to really talk to. We reviewed, we put together some data about projects as they come off pilot. So we were looking at town and special district taxes for projects that came off in 2024 and 2025. So these two years had generated, so like the top 10 projects we're bringing in annually, about $750,000 in town and special district taxes, not school, not county. So that's pretty significant in terms of tax revenue generation. So what we wanted to try to help them understand is, I'm working with finance was a recommendation out of that meeting to get a little bit clarification, but kind of like the gut shot number is about 2% of the levy that like IDA projects coming off pilot bring in. So that you know, if our IDA, say for instance, wouldn't exist, or if we would stop doing projects. You would see, you know, if, I don't recall exactly what the increase was, say 10%, which is kind of nothing to complain about if they do, it would be 5%. You know,
Right.
so it's helpful to kind of really put some numbers to it. We talked to them and I think highlighted some issues for the town, like best practices, like budget forecasting years in advance, so that if there's a lot of debt financing going on right now, like, you know, how to plan for that better on the revenue side for the future in the next like 2 to 5 years, so that, you know, you can understand the importance of getting projects in to help pay these bills and offset the taxes. Or again, it will be, you know, your regular cost increases of 5%, and then maybe an additional 2% with debt service to finance ice arena upgrades or the senior center upgrades. Now your tax rate increase is 7%. So we're trying to help them do some forecasting and moderate that. So I think it was a good meeting and kind of changed some perspectives on, you know, some things. And, you know, again, it's always like the last comment, but we, you know, the jobs are, you know, never, rarely kind of, you know, brought into this conversation, but, you know, financials aside, there's substantial impact in there. You know, and then you also have the benefit and the tax impacts of the job creation. So that was a good meeting.
We know how many jobs, see, we created X amount of jobs, how many of the people are Hamburg residents? Paying into the Hamburg tax. Do we have that?
No, we don't. I would say like we have. Like in 2024, we created 217, 190 temporary construction jobs, like working on the project. Those have to be, like, we certify those because we have the construction requirement. So like we get essentially like employee data which has their zip code in it. So we at least can tell that they're within Western New York. That's our requirement. But in terms of the jobs being in Hamburg, we don't know that. So I don't.
If we did, that could be an additional percentage or two towards the tax.
Yeah, if they own land and they pay property tax, yeah.
What, 4075? But then you get.
14085, 14219, multiple zip codes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And 14219, distort it a little bit.
And then probably the other most significant item on the business development side is I had a meeting with Republic Steel. So, you know, starting the conversation to get that to its next life. That's huge. That's 1.2 million square feet. I think that people don't like Sumitomo, you know, just taking a lot of the spotlight now in terms of available industrial sites. Like that is definitely another prime one. You know, the power there, that level of infrastructure, the zoning, there's a lot that makes that site, you know, potentially bubble up.
There is some businesses in there, isn't it?
At Republic Steel?
Yeah.
No,
No.
no, there's they have some like kind of use agreements because some of their power infrastructure, like they supply power to other parts of this site. So they do have some cash flow. I don't know if that's that area where the boats are, like near the looks like a water tower. I don't think that's their site. I think that's Great Lakes.
Well, they still have a sewage treatment plant over there.
That is part of the Republic site? Okay. And do they, I don't know, I didn't even have a conversation on that. Is that something that's active or something
The
that
sewage
serves?
treatment plant, yeah,
Okay.
as long as they're flushing toilets.
Out of that site or like in this?
On that
area?
site, so they have their own sewage treatment facility on that site. You
Okay,
know where the boats are?
yep,
If you're
Okay, so
looking at
that's
the
it.
boats to the left is their sewage treatment.
that might be Great Lakes Industrial over there.
But no, it's
Okay.
right on, it's before the railroad tracks. So you have the boats, and then you have
Oh, okay, I'll double check
the
that.
sewage treatment plant.
who's gonna want to maintain that long term. But,
Well, they kind of have to because of the industrial waste.
yeah, but if
And
it stops generating, if they don't use the water,
We still,
yeah.
It's got to connect with all.
Well, that's something that I guess we gotta look into as part of the redevelopment.
yeah.
Like I've been
it's connected
chasing like
cell
water
phones.
capacity, gas, electric, that, that's one that we'll have to look.
Isn't
into.
it part of their Brownsfield development too, that,
This will be part of that
Yeah.
brownfield development area. Yes.
so there is some tax benefits if they,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So, no, I mean, it's unfortunate that they closed, but, it's good that, that we can try to start working and get it back onto its next life. That's the best we can do. I have, next on the agenda, I have a resolution, for Stop 3 LLC. They're not, we had several conversations in past meetings. I had conversations with, I'm just taking another look. We had, conversations with them in April. They were looking to attend and I confirmed last week, tried to confirm last week and this week. They've been radio silent, so I don't know what's going on. So I would make a recommendation to table Stop 3 LLC if the board.
We'll make a motion to table.
Thanks, Janet.
Second.
Thanks, Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
His email says he's gonna be here.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
And then we had asked some follow-up questions of him.
Yeah, we had some couple follow-up, so it was, last Friday, once we got the resolution kind of in the works and stuff going, re-engage with them, so I don't know. So, maybe they'll be back next month, but, I'm encouraging people to be here, so, let's get that.
Appreciate that.
Hey, listen to you people once.
You people being informed.
No privilege of the floor, executive session. Motion to adjourn at 7:56 AM.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Gwen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Here, made it easy on you.
That was our last meeting in a long time.
It's just, wow.
4 o'clock.
I was hoping we'd.
Let's get
have
them
a
both in
resolution.
before 8.
Yeah. Wow, real quick.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Tick tock, tick tock.
To the train.
Really?
Yeah, quicker than the train.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Cam Hall,
Yeah.
Bob Hutchison, Janet McGregor Plar, Tom Moses, Bob Reynolds,
Present.
Lance Valentin, and we have Mary Ann, Jamel and Andy Palmer excused, Mary and Jennifer. A motion to open as guests, motion to open the May 14th, 2025 Hampton, New York Land Development Corporation Board of Directors meeting at 7:57 AM.
So moved.
Second,
Bob, thanks, Janet. A motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 9th, 2025.
I'm your own.
So moved. Thanks, Tom.
second,
Thanks, Janet. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstaining, carried. Next is a motion to approve the financial report from April 30th, 2025.
As a financial secretary, I love these reports. We had a gross income of $4,509.66. We had no expenses, so we ended up with a net income over expenses of $4,509.66. Our total assets for this organization is $1,972,592.42. Any questions?
Motion approved. Thanks, Wentz.
Second.
Thanks, Cam. All in favor? Any other questions? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Carried. Okay, director update. We didn't have any inquiries into the land site. I've been working a lot with the town, to get the site. We approved the mowing of the site, so, I've been working with the town on that. We had, Labella come in, so prior we had Earth Dimensions do the wetland delineation. Earth Dimensions was purchased by Labella. So if you need wetland delineations done, you're kind of the one that does it. We had Labella back out to the site Monday. I walked this site with them. We marked the wetland areas. They wanted the wetland areas like flagged. So which they originally did, but like there was like 2 left, the ribbons just kind of blow off, they fade over the months. So that's remarked. I will be meeting at 11 today back at the land site with the conservation board and the building department to rewalk this area with the areas
Couple
flagged.
lines, right?
Yes. And then hopefully from there, I will be able to get it done. I have attended the conservation board meeting. I've met with them on site. This will be the second time meeting them on site. According to town code, I don't know kind of when this all started. If we approved it last month, I doubled back over the town code. If you are doing mowing, it's called clearing, which is removal of any vegetation. Which I don't know if that includes cutting your lawn, like we had talked about this in the exec meeting. I mean, I guess it depends upon how you interpret it. More than 20,000 square feet, which is roughly a half acre, then you need a building permit. The approving authority is the building department. So, with our position,
Does it just say one?
it says clearing, but then that defines clearing as like removal of any vegetation.
Why don't you
So-
leave the grass clippings there?
That's a good point.
So you're not removing-
We're not removing.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Attorney Mills. So, yeah. So
I
we-
gotta remember that.
Yeah, I was kind of erring on the side of caution, worked with the work with planning, referred to building, so, so they're saying we need a building permit, which is, I mean, we're like. Hopefully at 11 o'clock, we're there. But it did.
Once it's done, like, can we send a brush hog in every month or two and just? keep
My
it-
recommendations
Way to
would
go.
be, yes, because also too, it's gonna cost less, right? It's not as thick, it's easier to get through.
Send in the John
So,
Deere and cut the
to do more, and it's not necessarily just grass.
How many of them truly walk the site?
Conservation Board, 2 members, and Jeff Skripik from building, I will say he's been super responsive, like kudos to the town.
Which 2? If I might ask.
They're bird watching.
It wasn't Mark Liquid, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He called me,
That was
it wasn't
one.
Mark.
And there was another woman.
Patty,
What's Patty's last name?
O'Shea,
No,
Amy Blundell.
no,
Amy didn't do it.
let me look, let me Google them.
I mean, Leona's been on, I think, the conservation committee. since
Mark
the beginning.
Liquid's been on it.
It wasn't Mark.
Mark stepped off, thankfully.
He's gone?
Yeah, he stepped away from it. He had my ear yesterday at a different meeting. Yeah.
Is it the Hamburg Conservation Authority? Is that what they're called?
Hamburg Conservation.
Board, kind of have.
Advisory
conservation
committee.
They're an advisory board, so they will, like their recommendations. Why is Tim Pressure? So they will make recommendations to the town building department, and the town, the town is the approving authority.
She's newer than she, and Kevin.
I don't, I'd have to go back and see, it says they're appointed in 2000, or was it
It
their
says your term expires.
Term expires.
They all expire in 2026. They're
Other
annual
1-year
appointments.
terms.
Right, there you go. He really fucked it up.
So,
What's up?
Okay.
we're listening in on James.
Okay.
So when's the plane arrive?
You don't need it.
I need,
It's the
that was just an
DPW.
update, but I do need, I have a resolution.
Yeah, guys called out.
You need a resolution to hire.
Sure. When's the
No,
plane?
Change their,
I need this is an authorization to sign for the ESD grant. So I have a resolution here.
Yes.
That will essentially authorize Executive Director Sean Doyle, the director, to sign New York Fast Spread document. So I do Like over the course of, I'll go through the resolution, but over the course of the grant application, we need
That's,
some authority to sign and move things forward. So whereas the Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation has been awarded a New York State Dance Grant through Empire State Development with respect to the pre-development activities. And whereas in order to receive this funding, various agreements and documents for New York State must be executed on behalf of the Land Development Corporation. Now therefore, the Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation hereby resolves as follows. The Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation does hereby authorize chairman, vice chairman, executive director, or assistant secretary to execute, seal, acknowledge, and deliver such agreement and any documents following review of the Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation Council. So that's your safety guard there. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
So
So
moved.
moved. Thanks, Janet.
second.
Thanks, Bob. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried. Okay, a motion to adjourn the Hamburg, New York Land Development Corporation Board of Directors meeting at 8:04 AM. Thanks, Wentz.
Second.
Thanks, Cam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. May 20th, the stadium meeting.
Yes.
I think we had sent out an email on that.
Time's that at?
Let me see, I think. Was it 6:30?
Oh, and then night.
Right?
Yes, at Hillsborough College. I don't have the time. There was a,
6 o'clock.